Oh, these are good questions. Okay, cool. All right, it's 2:02.
Are we ready?
We're ready. Let's do it.
I feel like we should have some intro music. Didn't Sam used to have some like intro music that he used to do?
Yeah, he's fancy though. We can have it edited in later.
Oh,
right?
yes.
I was just gonna say, like anything.
Rainiel.
Anything. It's possible.
If you're listening to me, when you're listening to me, let's do some intro music. So here we are.
Do you want me to introduce this?
Yeah.
I mean, because you're the host, I feel like it's okay. I'll go.
Oh, I'm okay. Yeah, I am the host. So welcome. What number are we on? What masterclass are we? This is a bad introduction. It's too many. So we're here, masterclass number 444. And it's Chris and I, and it's the last masterclass before the fall. And so we've decided, because it's summertime, the kids are off school, so we're taking a break. It has nothing to do with that, but it feels like it should. Insert happy music. Yes, Dan, insert happy music. And we're here to do a fun masterclass this week. We are just doing iGUIDE trivia. So fun fact, anybody who is attending today will be automatically entered into a draw to win a prize. We are not going to be calculating and tallying up your answers to see who gets it wrong or gets it right or all that fun stuff, but please do try and answer for fun. I'll be asking the questions, and unfortunately Chris knows all the answers. So like this isn't like a game show where like we're not sure if he knows the answers. We know the answers, and it's you guys that don't. So let's take it away with the first question.
Wait, before we do that, what's the prize?
Chris, what's the prize?
It's a hat. I knew the answer already. I knew. I was leading you toward that. So
we're getting you started already.
One of these cool iGUIDE hats. Check this out. They look so neat. I'm wearing one right now. They're amazing.
I know. I'm heading into the office tomorrow to grab one because I need one as well.
They're high quality. They make me feel.
It wasn't going to go with my hair, so I needed to not wear one today. But
I wear one because of my hair. Getting haircuts sucks.
Dan says I'm wearing my iGUIDE jacket, so I need perfect.
You got to have the whole
Dan.
Outfit. I have a sweater. I should wear my sweater too. Oh well. Okay.
Oh, it's 35 degrees though, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So, that's true. All right, so insert drum roll. When was Planetar founded and the iGUIDE brand birthed or created? Does anybody know?
Put your suggestions or your guesses rather in the chat. And then while you do that, I will give you some information. So every press release we put out has it like in the boilerplate.
Oh, you're making it easy for people?
Yeah, like I'm giving you some clues.
Clues.
It's surprisingly a lot longer than you'd imagine. I'm giving like hints. It's we've been around a lot longer than almost all of our competition, not entirely, but quite a few.
Yeah.
And people are often surprised when they find out how long Planetar / iGUIDE has been around. It's feels like ancient history because like in tech terms, like 2 years is a big deal. Like I was, remembering what cell phone I had like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was just like, oh, it's like embarrassing. Terrible.
Yeah.
But that's just tech for you. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you.
Yes. What is the answer, Chris? Tell us.
Dan got it right.
He did.
2013.
2013, folks.
2013. How long have you worked for Planetar, Kelly? Since what?
Oh, that's a complicated answer because I started working for Planetar in 2014. And then I left in 2015 to leave the country when remote options were not available, pre-pandemic. And then I came back in 2018, and now it's 2022. So 5 years in total. What about you, Chris?
My answer is also complicated.
That's true. That's right.
We're complicated people.
We are so complicated.
So I started as a contractor, so not an employee.
Oh, yeah.
2014, and then I became an employee later. So kind of like 2014.
Yeah. So fun fact, when Planetar, for those of you who don't know, when Planetar was first born out of the Kitchener-Waterloo area, we contracted photographers. We did the iGUIDE shoots. We did not sell cameras at that time.
Full service business. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was talking to the clients and the real estate agents and the scheduling and did all the editing and stuff like that. And Chris was one of the photographers we contracted. So we worked together in that time frame, 2015.
That is an excellent segue into our next question.
Oh,
okay. So
the next question is, when was the first camera system sold? Chris and audience.
So fun facts while you guys input your numbers is that the camera systems that originally sold were IMS4 systems. I might mention this as well later down the line, but IMS4 systems use visible red lasers. And they had this thing that like sticks up. We'll edit in a photo here. And they would shoot lasers on the wall and it would just freak people out. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest kind of like losses usually when technology gets better, you don't lose, you gain. And with IMS5, we gained. It was awesome, so much better. But the one loss was that you didn't have those visible red lasers.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't nearly as terrifying for people. And the reason that you would want to terrify people, if that's
probably questioning
is this a
loss? Is this a loss?
Why do you want to terrify people? Because they would get out of your way. It was awesome. You go to shoot and they'd be like, oh, I should leave. And you're like, yes, you should.
You don't want to get lasers in your eye.
That's right.
Make
you don't have
blind.
goggles, so you got to go.
You weren't wearing goggles, but
I have special goggles. They're like, those are Ray-Bans, and that's I'd be like, no, they're goggles. They're laser goggles.
Oh, more fun facts.
It was kind of
the calibration on on those things.
Oh yeah, that system was.
I remember.
I did like 500 houses with that, but yeah, it was okay.
Do you remember you needed to have a certain amount of wall, like blank wall, in order to line up and like make sure?
Yeah, you had to do a whole calibration procedures, the whole thing. I don't miss that.
No.
Okay, I'll give you the answer. It's 2014.
December 2014.
Yes.
All right.
So right at the end of 2014. So that was the switch from full service to selling cameras instead.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty early on, and that was probably, a really sort of obvious intentional move to want to create the technology rather than being a full service business. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right, Chris. So, and for our audience as well, why is it called IMS4, IMS5? Do we know what IMS stands for?
Okay, so put your guesses in the chat. Now, you get points. I mean, I don't know who's giving out the points, but you get points for the most creative use of the letters IMS. So if you don't know, make something up and you'll get points for making up something ridiculous.
As long as the letters make sense, we'll take it.
So I'll give you some hints. It does stand for something.
Yes, it does.
It's not random.
No.
And it reflects and it sort of intramuscular stimulation. That's
I
a
like
good
that.
one.
I make superior 360s.
Oh,
I think that's
going on the brochure.
What we rename it to.
Yeah. So this whole exercise is just to
for marketing.
Marketing work.
Yep.
For us.
Yes.
That will give you the real answer eventually.
I think we should need to read these out just for fun. So Nicola says integrated measuring system, or better, intramuscular stimulation. It is for sure some sort of stimulation. Michael says international measurement system. And Dan said, this is my favorite. I make superior and then 360s in brackets.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And
good.
indoor mapping system is his last answer.
Yep. So, okay. You're all very close. Dan is the closest. It's interior mapping system.
Interior. Yeah. Very, very, very close.
So the reason that's important is that tells you exactly what the technology was designed to do. So, and this question comes up just like constantly, and there's nothing wrong with this question because it's a good one, but it's, hey, I want to use the system to go and like map and measure, for a site plan, like the outdoors, like a fence or whatever. And you can totally do that. You can measure that, but the system was never designed for that. Because there's all sorts of complications, and baked in the name, interior mapping system was meant to measure interior spaces right from the get-go. So it's not that we don't work with exterior spaces. Obviously, there's like decks and porches and things, but it was originally, indoor and interior are kind of interchangeable. Depends on where you look. I tried to fact check this earlier, and I found both. So they're both kind of correct. So you get like
Dan's like, I just want the points, guys. That's all I care about.
Yeah, he's hardcore. He wants the points.
Very competitive.
So the thing is now, because of this, I have to go and change every single reference
I know.
across the entire website and every brochure forever to interior, which is fine.
To make sure that that Dan can't be like, hey guys, forgot about this one.
Checked our glossary of terms and it was interior.
Exactly.
But anyway.
So our next question we already kind of talked about, but what camera system did people used to use to make iGuides prior to the IMS5?
This is a really difficult one.
So difficult.
Lock your guesses in now. What came before the IMS5? It's really difficult. And I already mentioned it earlier. So
yeah.
And I'm going to talk about it. There you
exactly.
Go. Okay, Dan got it. It's IMS4. Yeah.
IMS4. Yeah. Thanks.
So IMS4 and IMS5 differ greatly. There was a huge leap in technology. IMS4 used visible red lasers, which were super cool, but it had a range of like, I don't know, 8 to 14 feet on like a good day.
That's right.
Anyway, IMS4 used visible red lasers. The range was terrible, and it was very prone to interference from ambient light. So if there was like a lot of sunshine, it just wouldn't pick up data. Also, the data looked different than IMS5 and Planix in that the further away you got, the weirder the data got. So it wasn't like there was less data. It was like more erratic. And that meant aligning the data was much harder. And obviously that required calibration. So there was a whole bunch of humongous quality of life issues that were sorted out when we went from IMS4 to IMS5. And then going from IMS5 to Planix was, the LiDAR is like amazing.
Oh, so much.
The range of it, like I remember thinking it was complete madness when we first got it because it was so good. So the IMS5 was amazing. And then when we went to Planix, that was, again, huge quality of life improvements. And then that was also, vastly improved in terms of quality of data, which we'll get to later.
Also, fun fact, we didn't just pull 4 out of nowhere. There were 1, 2, and 3 iterations as well, but they just never made it into the light of anybody's hands, I should say. I
have photos. We'll edit them.
Do you?
We'll edit them in to be on screen.
We don't talk about those. Oh, don't make me
sing. They just
sing.
appeared in the air. They're floating there in the video.
We don't talk about Bruno. Yeah.
Well, one of them's quite cool. It has this like dome mirror thing and the like camera was pointed up. It was neat. Anyway, you guys will see it if you watch the recording.
All right, next question. What was the original intention of the iGUIDE technology, Chris?
So originally, the iGUIDE technology was designed to capture spaces that were not residential real estate focused. It was more about event spaces and sort of like facilities and construction spaces because, one of the founders, Kevin and Alex, were specifically interested in documenting those spaces for planning purposes, I guess you could say. But the technology had a really good fit. It was just a really good fit for residential real estate. So it just kind of like totally took off. It was just way too early for like something like facility management, but it just worked for residential real estate. So, it kind of stuck. So that was good. It's good for us all.
Chris, that is the right answer. Thank you so much.
Like I know stuff,
And Dan, no, we don't have an IMS museum as of yet, but stay tuned. You never know.
We will eventually, because I'll make like an about page. I'll have it on there. We're not sure how to do that yet, but I have all the data. So anyway.
What's the largest iGUIDE ever produced, Chris?
Okay, I have to check my notes because I don't remember, but it's humongous and it's ridiculous. Okay, everybody guess. Put in your guess at the biggest iGUIDE ever made.
In terms of square feet, if I didn't make that.
Oh yes, in square footage.
Clear.
If you're from Europe, just put in square meters and we'll do a conversion. Oh yeah, that's ridiculous.
It is. Wow, that was 65 million. That's amazing. I wish. I wonder how long that would take to draft.
64 million. That's like a city. That's nuts.
All right.
Oh, and the final guesses, though.
They are good guesses. Yeah. What's the final answer, Chris?
It's 461,000 square feet.
Pretty big.
Yep.
Dan, you were in probably second and third place or around there with I know that your group did one that was over 300,000 for sure. I think it was 332, something like that. But yeah, the largest one ever, 461,000 square feet. Crazy.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Don't. Please don't.
So what was the 461,000 square feet?
It was
university maybe or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was. I didn't store the iGUIDE URL, so I can't remember.
Yeah, university campus.
All right. What is the weirdest space that has ever been captured?
Okay, put your answers in the chat.
What is the weirdest thing we've ever drafted of an iGUIDE? Like what is the weirdest place that an iGUIDE camera has captured data?
I didn't know this. I'm just reading the answers off my phone.
Spaceship. That's so cool.
Well, that would be awesome.
That would be the winner.
But yeah, actually these
quietly puts iGUIDE away.
They're not even weird. These are just cool.
Yeah, they are cool. Elevator machine room. Zoo. That would be more of a site plan probably, but a barn. Okay. Yep. That's a good answer. It's like a Steve Harvey. Good answer. No wrong answers, guys. Just good answers. Airplane. Close. What say you, Chris?
All right. So
what are some of the weirdest ones we've done?
Am I allowed to show these or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's one. It's a helicopter. It's got a weird nose on it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
The floor plan is just weird.
Mm-hmm. It is weird. Well, because it's a helicopter body.
Like an egg. That's kind of cool. That's just cool. That's not really that weird, but I like it.
It's cool. Yeah. Any other ones? Any other crazy iGUIDEs?
Oh, is this an ambulance? Oh, it is. It's an ambulance. Okay, that's pretty cool.
We did the inside of an ambulance, guys.
Those are pretty weird.
Okay, we
also did a boat museum. Everyone probably knows that. You can see it on our website in the gallery.
That was a really cool one.
Yep.
IMS for EMS. Mm-hmm. Dan, we need you on our marketing team.
Yeah, we're gonna poach you for marketing, Dan. You've got some sweet ideas.
Yeah.
So some weird vehicles. That's the weirdest stuff. There's some airplanes.
Yeah.
There's some boats, some strange vehicles. So that's pretty neat.
We've definitely done barns. Haven't done a submarine yet, or a spaceship.
A spaceship would be pretty awesome. I demand to be able to do that.
Yeah. And yes, Nicola, it's the minimum charge, even if it's a small space. Yeah. For the drafting fee. Or you could do radix, and then it would be a minimum charge as well, but it would be a different cost structure. Very cool. All right, Chris, in survey, what happens when you tap on the pano number?
Oh yeah, here, I'm gonna do a little demo.
Elon, if you were listening. We'll do an iGUIDE for you, Elon.
Here, fun fact, this is a survey simulator that you can access online. Now, probably most, if not all of you, already have a camera, so you would never bother to use this. But the survey simulator allows you to pretend like you're shooting an iGUIDE and mess around. So what we're referring to here, so this is good for demos. So what we're referring to is this right down here. You've got your project name, your floor, and then you have a number. What happens when you click on this?
Does anybody know?
I bet you most of you don't know, but you should because it's super cool.
It is.
So lock in your answers, or you're probably just all going to break out your camera and just
that's okay.
Just delay it.
It's open book.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yeah. We have access to the internet. It's an open book.
I'll give you like 10 seconds. And also, fun fact, I helped design this interface and I didn't know they added this right away. And so I was super confused when I found it. I was like, what? This is so cool. What is this? I was very, very confused. This little sort of project floor pano number thing is intentionally designed to allow you to see all the time where you are at a property and give you a sense of your progress. You know, if you're on pano 32, you've been there for like whatever, 30 minutes or something. So this is super useful, but it got more useful because they added a thing.
What's the thing, Chris?
Tell us. I'm going to show you. I'm going to click it. Watch this. If you click it, you can add a custom label, private notes, and hide it on the portal.
Okay. Shock and awe.
That is awesome for something you probably didn't even know was there, because you're going to have someone come over to you during the shoot and they're going to say, hey, I want you to label this particular room on the floor plans. I want you to label this the book nook, the library. And you're like, there's not a single book in here, man. I don't know what you're talking about. So you just tap.
It's going to be. Yeah, you tell them.
We're going to fix it up, promise.
Yeah.
You can put that in here and you can make little notes they're just for yourself. The drafters don't see them, but some relevant thing that you need to edit out, maybe there's something you want to edit out of the image or whatever, you can put a little note. And then hide in portal is cool because that means that if you have the time on site, if you're have a shoot that's 4 hours until your next shoot and you're like, I have the time, you can just disable or hide rather all of the panos you don't want people to see right from here. And then when you load it into Stitch, it's just like done. And that's super useful when you do multiples in the same spot. So if you stack a bunch of panos on top of each other, it's kind of irritating to select them and disable them. It's not difficult, but it's like it takes a little longer to figure out which one's which or whatever. So it's kind of cool if when you're on site, you say, okay, these two I want hidden, and you hide them when you shoot them, so that when later you're looking at it, you don't have to flip flop between them and be like, which was the one I was supposed to pick? And that's a really great technique, because what that means is that you can overshoot without worry that you're gonna have to sort through a ton of data later. It means more time on site because you have to like push it, but it's good.
How many square feet do you think that we have drafted since iGUIDE was born? How many
total all-time square footage
to date? What is the total square footage we've drafted?
Okay.
What do you think?
Everybody put it. I already know the answer. Is that a surprise?
1 trillion. Oh,
it loses all meaning once you get too high.
Wow.
Like 1 billion and 1 trillion equally impress me.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah. But when you see a visual representation of like the difference between 1 million and 1 billion, it's shocking. So sometimes visual is good. All right. What's the final answer, Chris?
Right. That's 600 million square feet.
Yeah.
So
we're not at a billion yet.
No.
Again, yet, but we'll get
that's
there. Mm-hmm.
I find that just as impressive. So there you go.
I agree. So do I. Yes. So where all do we have cameras, Chris? How many countries does iGUIDE technology exist in?
Right.
What do you think, guys?
So we're in a lot of different countries all over the world. So I guess the question is, how many countries is iGUIDE currently being created in? Okay. So the first country, while you guys guess and put it in the chat, I'll give you some information. So the first country that we sort of, obviously outside of Canada, went to the United States and then North America, but outside of those two, the first one was Australia, I believe, which was very awkward for training purposes, to be honest with you. It was very challenging. But we quickly started to sort of spread out, without giving any specific numbers, into lots of different places. We had an easier time some places than others, not because of the technology. It's purely a language thing. It's difficult to support on non-English speaking countries. But fun fact, I sometimes make sample iGUIDEs just for demo purposes. And so I used to just randomly pick addresses wherever in the world I thought, would be funny. And one day I went to the iGUIDE map. I'll actually even just show you guys this real quick. Here we go. And what I didn't realize was that every time I was making a sample iGUIDE, I spelled it wrong. Here we go. It was appearing on the iGUIDE map. So I had inadvertently made a bunch of iGUIDEs like in Peru and like in Africa, and we were not in Peru at that time. But here, that's pretty cool. Like you can see, here's a few. This is a good hint. There's a few countries here. There should be some in Australia. There you go. Oh, New Zealand. That gives something away. Philippines. They take a bit to load. It's a bit slow. And I just let it know my location. I don't know if that's good or not.
I don't think it matters.
Hawaii. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Hawaii.
Okay. The answer, I did a tally and I got a few different results, but the answer is just around 40. 40.
All right. Next question. What method is used to calculate processing fees for virtual staging?
Yeah. Okay. So how is iGUIDE virtual staging?
How do we charge for it?
Processing calculated.
What do you see on your invoice?
I'm making a little face. I don't want to give too many hints about the answer. Yeah, I can't hold back. I'm just going to answer. Okay. It's a trick question. We don't do virtual staging.
We don't.
There is no fee and no cost. Virtual staging on an iGUIDE, as in 360s, is something that we're compatible, like iGUIDE is compatible with, but we don't offer it. And that's always been a source of confusion. And now, because there was this trick question, we're so sneaky. You're totally going to remember this, because you're going to remember the hurt you felt when you found out that it was a trick question.
The hurt you felt.
So we're villains now. The virtual, okay, so virtual staging, I'll just describe it. Okay, it's when in a 360 is when you take a 360-degree image and you add furniture so that when you're looking at the 360, you see the furniture like as though you were looking at properly at the 360, right? So just like virtual staging in a regular image, people put in whatever type of furniture they want and they make the house look however they're going to look. And then the difference with a 360 is that obviously it's in that weird format, so it's harder to edit, the equirectangular, all stretched out kind of format, and you have to either convert it into a equirectangular representation of a 360 or a sphere in Photoshop, or figure out how to edit otherwise. But long story short, the biggest difference is that one scan is connected to another. So that means that it's not like you just edit one photo. If you then travel to another part of the property and you looked over, you would expect to see the same furniture. So it can get quite costly and weird. And it's something that we've never really thought was really part of the iGUIDE experience, in the sense that it's not something that we would offer. iGUIDE is all about measurement and accuracy and making it easy to deliver content. It's really not about actually performing the service of creating the content exactly, strictly speaking, for you in that way. So our website has a virtual staging page, and there are some links there to companies that you could hire to do virtual staging for you. Mm-hmm. So I apologize for tricking you. I'm so sorry. I feel bad.
He's not sorry.
Not sorry at all.
Not at all. Yeah, not even a little. Look at that grin.
It was fun. It was fun. I'm just enjoying myself. How many questions do we have left?
I think we just have, we have 3, including this next one, Chris. What is the most common question that an iGUIDE provider asks?
All right, you guys got to guess. You should know, because you're service providers. You should be able to figure this out. What is the most common question that we get asked?
How do I turn this on? Actually.
No, what the guy was here, I'll just reference that. So what the guy was talking about earlier was a type of virtual staging, but virtual staging on the floor plan. There was a post in the Facebook group. The Facebook group, where someone had made a 3D. They're very cool. It was spammy though. I hate the comment. But anyway, so there's a common question that we always get nonstop. I have people still contacting me who I trained 5 years ago who are like, hey, quick note, just checking in. And they asked me this question. Mm-hmm. And when I say it, it's going to seem really obvious.
Mm-hmm. What Mark said. Cost. People are saying connect your camera to Wi-Fi. That's a very common one. How long does the battery last? That's a good question. Yeah.
Our battery life is sweet. So that's a fun one.
Can we do floor plans without the panos?
That does come up a lot. It's not the most common, but that is pretty common.
Battery. Yeah. See, battery rocks. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just
What's
tell you.
What's the answer?
It's, hey, is my iGUIDE ready yet? Is it done? Well, things are better now because we have continuous delivery. So that means that we get iGUIDEs at weird times. So sometimes you're just like asleep. So you can't ask if you're unconscious, I guess.
No.
But it's one of those things.
Sleep.
I know, I'm not familiar either.
If people sleep. Yes, if you do sleep.
It's a concept more than anything theoretical for me as well. That's the thing. They show up a lot faster, but what we have happen quite frequently is that we have inconsistent delivery times, and that's just the nature of a seasonal business. So sometimes you'll have 100 floor plans to draw in a day or 100 iGUIDEs to create, and sometimes there'll be 5,000. So dealing with that dynamic workload can be very challenging, and that's difficult for the drafting team. They do their best and they do an amazing job, and they're all amazing.
We love them.
But that can mean some inconsistency. So sometimes you get your iGUIDE at 9 a.m. the next day. Sometimes you get it at 2 a.m. in the morning, but sometimes you get it at 3 p.m. the next day. And that makes you a bit antsy because your client's asking you, hey, where's my stuff? And you're kind of like, I don't know, let me check, where's my stuff? And then you contact us. So that is by far 100% the most common question.
And Nicola says, really? I am always surprised with how fast they show up.
You know, right?
That's what we like to hear.
That's awesome.
What we like to hear. All right, 2 more. What is the range of the LiDAR scanner on our Planix Pro?
I put this one in here because it's technical and it's cool. Also, I think I have like EV drivers have range anxiety. I have LiDAR range anxiety. That's a thing for me because I've done big spaces that are like 80,000 square feet, and you're always concerned that you won't be able to actually hit anything. So and this is the honest to God's truth, the range is, you guys are like not even close to. Somebody read this fact sheet. They knew it. That's okay.
They're doing their homework.
I know,
Chris.
you guys are too
what
good.
Are
You're too good at Googling stuff and looking at the website. I should have disabled the pages where that data was available, like the spec sheets and stuff before this, and then you guys would have been stuck.
Open book. It's okay.
I'll just tell you, yes, it is indeed 40 meters, which is nuts. So
what is that in feet? Do we know what that is in feet?
Yeah, times 3, 120 feet. I think.
Okay, so Dan and RM both got it right.
So I'll give you guys a couple of examples of how bonkers that is. And it also, like, the amount of light in the environment it sort of affects it, but not to a great degree. It's more like the reflectivity of the surfaces the LiDAR is bouncing off of in some cases. But I've measured things like 150 feet away when they're highly reflective. I went out, I did around my house, and I just scanned like the exterior for fun. And I've mentioned this many times in many different webinars. I was building a fence, and I wanted to kind of measure to create a radius to measure the hedge and where the buildings were situated, because there's like my neighbor's garage and my house and a driveway and then his house. So I thought, this would be cool. I'll measure it. And like, I was picking up houses across the street. It's nuts. So that means that the iGUIDE Planix system with the 40-meter range eats large spaces like for breakfast. It's bonkers. You can measure entire warehouses with one shot. Now, you shouldn't ever do that.
No, do not do this,
because that makes, for one, a very boring tour.
Yeah, just one.
But it also cuts down on the amount of available visual reference data available, like in the images, because there would only be one, for the draftspeople to include things like doors and windows. So the images are a big part of the accuracy. So even though you can technically measure an entire like auto garage with like one scan, you shouldn't. You should do multiple ones, because it's better for the drafters. And honestly, it makes a better product because no one can really look around and see anything. So you're kind of throwing away the virtual tour if you don't put enough scans in. That's my point. Okay. I think this is our last question, right?
It is.
Final question.
As we talked about in the beginning of this, the funnest webinar of all.
It's the greatest webinar
ever. We used to sell iGUIDEs to people through contracted photographers. And so this meant that there was a period of time, still happens to this day, where people would contact us directly asking to schedule an iGUIDE shoot. And we would have to tell them, unfortunately, no, we cannot do that for you. You'll have to contact somebody that creates iGUIDEs. And so this is where our ION map was born. So the question is, what does ION stand for?
Here, I'll share it. I'll share it on screen while you guys think about it. Okay, so let's go to, I don't remember the actual URL. I'll have to go there. Okay, find a service provider. There you go. This is called the ION map. Let me zoom out so we can see all of your stuff. Also, fun fact, if you're not on here and you want to be on here, you go to the Go iGUIDE site, click find a service provider, and then there's a link right here. Click here, start the process. So this is a way for people to, it's a tool that we use to send people to you guys so they don't think they can buy iGUIDEs from us. And you can see, hopefully, on the left here, all the names and contact information. So the goal would be that someone would go to this map, they go to their local area, they find you, and then they give you a call.
Yep.
And this is,
we definitely have had some good guesses. So we have Independent Operators Network, iGUIDE Owner Network. Any other guesses? Any other guesses? Nope. All right. What's what's the answer, Chris?
You guys are really good. It's iGUIDE Operator Network.
Very close. Just needed to smush those two answers together.
Yeah, you guys were very close. Okay, but I'll give you the reasoning behind this. It's kind of cool. So there is originally it was more than a map. There was actually some kind of perks involved. We never really fully realized it, but if you're a member of if you're like a Nikon or a Canon, or I guess even Sony has this now, shooter, sometimes they have a professional services like group. So it'll be called like Nikon Professional Services. And it's like a club. And if you own enough cameras, you can like join it, and then they give you perks like better turnaround time or whatever. So we kind of thought it'd be fun to make this like exclusive club everyone could be part of. But then what we realized was that if everyone's part of the club, it's not particularly exclusive, is it? So, so if you have a camera, you're just kind of part of the club. So you get all the perks that you would obviously get either way. But we thought we'd give it a name. I don't remember who came up with it, but it was good. And it sounds cool. Ion.
I don't remember either, but yes. So there's a reason. There's a reason for most of the things that we do and have. Not many people know about them though.
That's true. Yeah, there's probably lots of weird stuff. It's making me think.
Yeah. And Michael says, I'm signing up as you teach. So that is awesome. We're happy to hear that.
Okay. Best webinar ever.
Best webinar. Absolutely ever.
We'll pick one of you and we'll send you a free hat for participating, because we're cool like that. Cool. That's it. The webinar is done.
High five.
Thank you all again for coming. It was a pleasure.
Yes, thank you for your participation and your attendance. It's wonderful to have you all here. This is our last masterclass for the summer. We will post a masterclass schedule sometime late summer, let you know what's coming up for the fall and winter. Hopefully some exciting stuff. If you have any suggestions or ideas, feel free to reach out to us and let us know what you'd like to see, because we can see about getting something scheduled in, depending on what that is, what you're looking for. But thank you all again. Happy Thursday, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Later.
Have a great day.